guys, this is your inspirational nurse _RN Tiara coming to you live with another great video. Hello, all my inspirational nurses out there, my future nurses, my student nurses, people desire to just be in this field. Welcome to the inspirational channel where I inspire you to be a better version of you. And on this channel, we talked about various topics as far from healthcare to how to become a nurse, how to get to nursing school, salaries, roles, experiences. This journey has started a couple of years ago. God has gave me the vision of, it's kind of like journaling in real time, which is really cool. So I can always reflect back on when I have some days when I need to just go back and be like, this is where you started and this is where you are now. So this channel is inspiring you guys. It's giving you the dropping the gems. It's giving you the knowledge, realistic views on this healthcare system, this role, how it looks, how it is, and what's really going on. So if you stay tuned, today's video is actually super special. It's all about director of nursing. So we will discuss roles, expectations, responsibilities, salary, and etc. I'm just going to drop the gems on this. Now, for those who do not know, before I was in this director of nursing position, I was a formal assistant director of nursing, unit manager, infection control, and all in one kind of thing. And then got into the director of nursing a couple of months ago, haven't made my first year yet. So I am so excited to share what this role looks like and expectations in case those who are interested or you would like me fighting to be in this leadership position, but God purposely called you there. So regardless of your background, you're welcome to stay on this channel and keep moving forward with us. Now let's jump straight in. First off, guys, let's talk about director of nursing. So we all say DON. Director of nursing is someone that is elected by maybe a couple of people when you're being interviewed, a panel interview, or by one individual that will do an interview with you and elect you to be a director of nursing. Now, in the state of Virginia, because that's the state I am, you always want to go with your state because that will influence how this job will look for you. In the state of Virginia, you have to be an RN. Some positions even require for you to be working on your bachelor's or for you to have your bachelor's. Some jobs do not care. My job, it was not a expectations, but it was for me to have my bachelor's in nursing because I knew that like in the future, it's probably going to be something that's going to be mandated because you guys already know how nursing can be. So let's talk about my role and responsibilities. So as a director of nursing, my role and responsibility is to oversee the whole nursing operation from the beginning to the end. So you are overseeing your staff to ensure that they're providing quality care and that they meet the compliance to ensuring that so we can keep meeting our certifications as a company, right? To keep our accreditations and licenses to practice. So that is a big responsibility. Being the director of nursing can be a great experience if you are desiring to grow into your leadership position. It also allows you to help with structuring your policies or revising policies. My role, it takes one of me. It's not like you're gonna go somewhere and there's gonna be two director of nursing. Well, you never know. But in most buildings, it's just one DON and maybe multiple assistant director of nursing. So the director of nursing will oversee her staff, will oversee the operations to patients getting their care. My role also allows me to deal with customer service issues, will allow me to work on different various of things to ensure that staff is where they need to be. So it's kind of like, think of it as running your business, right? You have staff. You need to make sure that their licenses are maintained and it's not expired. You need to make sure that they're healthy and fit to work. You need to make sure that they're developing and they're growing in their field. Or if they have desires to want to be promoted, is that possible? your job, I believe, also is important to teach and educate. You're going to be a big educator. I must educate my staff probably like every 5 seconds because I'd rather in service you than to write you up, because I feel like a lot of times when, especially my own experience, especially starting out as a nurse, when you do make a mistake or you didn't know something, you're like, oh, I didn't even know that. Because you sometimes, the thing about starting in a hospital is that you might have various preceptors. You might have one girl telling you one thing, somebody else telling you one thing, somebody else telling you one thing. You can't get a flow. You feel like you're failing already, right? So the goal of the director of nursing is to ensure that your experience is the best experience as a healthcare worker in a healthcare system or organization. Now, my role can be easily impacted by the type of company, the structure of it, the mission, and the vision of that company. Does that match my vision, my mission as a director of nursing? And the reason why I say that is it's so important to know how the company makes their revenue, which means money, how they make their money, right? Do they make it based off admissions? Do they make it based off of donations? Do they make it based off state funding? Like, how is this company getting money? If they're getting money through the state, then that means that the state can influence certain things about the company. If the company is making revenue through admissions, that means you better be ready, because you're going to be taking on a lot of admissions in order to kind of meet that financial goal. And so in order for that to continuously go and run like a well-oiled machine, your staff need to be trained to know how to deal with, and especially work under high pressure when the company receives their money through admissions, because that means they have to scout out patients from hospitals, maybe needing rehab or something of that nature. My role, I have 5 nursing units that are currently under. And my job is to ensure, again, that both staff and residents remain safe. They have what they need to be able to do the things that they need to do. That things get fixed or looked at, that we are meeting our compliance as far as when states come and inspect. My role is to be there, be present, and to be the voice for the team. And I think a good thing about being in this role, the most important thing is you have to believe in what you're doing. Like, if you don't believe in what you're doing, chances are you might fail because you don't have that belief, right? I could be talking about this all day. I could be doing it, but if I don't believe it, how much am I going to put into what I'm doing? Now, I've worked in so many different places as a travel nurse that most of the time I have never met the team. Like, I didn't know who the management team was. When people would say, oh, go to so-and-so, who's so-and-so? They were non-existent. And as the director of nursing, I try to do so much of the opposite of what I experience, because I want my team to know what I look like, and who I am, which sometimes can lead to people targeting you or you overworking, because now they're like, oh, I know who she is, where she's at, because I'm more of an open door kind of leader. I'm more of a let's talk about it, what's going on. I like to get to know my staff personally, so when there's times to make decisions, it's not hard decisions, because you're like, okay, I met that person, I know. In order to do your job successfully, you have to be in a company that believes in you. Now, you could believe all day in what you do, but if you don't have a company that don't believe in what you can bring to the table or your skills and values, it's not going to be a great relationship, because they need to believe. Some companies don't realize that they have strong leaders, they hire good talents, but then some companies use them. And then when that person is like, oh, I'm so exhausted, I don't want to do this anymore, they lose the drive and motivation, then the quality drops. And people were like, oh, we're always having staffing issues. Well, it's all about you believing in your DRN and your leadership, your management team. That is the main control room, right? that is influencing what's happening in all these units. My